going to put you on hold for 2 seconds, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, sir. Come on, put this on here. All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Sports Talk with Chris Heidel. Breaking news just coming out this afternoon. Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet, and we have on the phone right now with a gentleman who covers the Jets up there in beautiful New Jersey. Andy Vasquez was us. Hey, Andy, thank you so much for taking some time tonight. I know you're a busy guy. Your phone probably blew up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock this afternoon with this big news. So what's the feeling like around up there in northern New Jersey and New York City?
Well, I haven't really looked up from my laptop the last couple hours, but I mean, people are obviously excited. It's just kind of surreal. I mean, everybody's known, Rodgers' intentions for 6 weeks now, and even through all the kind of noise of the last 6 weeks, you still knew it was going to happen because there was never any indication that Rodgers had changed his mind. It was going to be hard for any team to trade for him without his consent, because what team would make an investment like that? But it's still surreal that it's the reality at this point, because Jets, it's the longest playoff drought in professional American sports right now, and suddenly they are, I think a legitimate, not a favorite, but a contender for a Super Bowl. And the team has played 2 primetime games in the last 2 years, and they'll probably play the maximum, which is 6 next year. So, just adding him changes a lot. It doesn't, mean it's going to go well. Still the Jets. We'll have to see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, it's an exciting time, and I think for good reason. Anybody who watched this team closely last year saw, if they had even decent quarterback play, they would have been a playoff team. And Aaron Rodgers, I know he's 39, but still, even last year, a bad year from him would have been a great year for any Jets quarterback going back in the last 50 years. So yeah, there's definitely excitement, and I think it's well deserved at this point.
Yeah, I grew up in Long Island, New York, and I was a Jet fan when I was a kid, and I moved down here to Maryland, and it seems like every year they've been trying to find a replacement for Joe Namath. It seems like every year they're trying to find that quarterback, because Joe was that, the stature of what the Jets were back in 1969, and going through the history of the Jet quarterbacks, you got Ken O'Brien, you had what's his name, Brett Favre for a couple of years. You had Joe Flacco. You had, people along down the list, and you're like, somebody has.
Esiason was with the Jets too.
Boomer Esiason. My colleague Adam right there just said, Boomer Esiason. They're still trying to find a replacement for Joe Namath, and this is like what, 2023?
Yeah, I mean, it's been. I mean, Joe Namath played his last game, and the Jets were playing at Shea Stadium still in 1976.
Right.
So they've had some guys who were pretty good. Obviously, a similar in an eerie situation if you look back 15 years ago when they had Brett Favre for 1 year. But I think this is like a different situation than that, because Favre, Nick Mangold said it a few weeks ago, Favre, it always felt like he was just trying to get back to Minnesota so he could, get back at the Packers. And I think Rodgers is committed. I don't think that's Rodgers' motivation for this. I think, he's obviously, I'm sure, mindful of Favre's legacy and all that, but I'm probably motivated to prove that he can have a different ending here than Favre had after only 1 year. And I mean, Favre's obviously would be the greatest quarterback if you put it in terms of numbers that the Jets have ever had, but he didn't realize it because he got hurt. So, I mean, it goes to show kind of that even this isn't a home run. But, yeah, I mean, you're talking about a team that's been looking for so long for its quarterback, and obviously they're getting a 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers, but he's just 2 years removed from being the back-to-back MVP. So, it's not the same situation as Favre when he was a little later in his career and ended up still having some good football left because he showed it the next year in Minnesota. But it is an interesting situation, and if he plays like anywhere close to what he did before he broke his thumb, he'll put up a season that the Jets have never seen, because they haven't had a 4,000-yard passer since Joe Namath, the year before they won the Super Bowl. So that's going back to 1967.
Yeah. Well, we'll just talk about the Jets gave up for Aaron Rodgers. They gave up their 13th pick on Thursday, their 42nd pick in the second round, their 6th round pick, and then the second round pick of next year's draft. That it might be a first round pick if Rodgers does 65% of the snaps this year for the Jets. So basically, the Jets put the entire house on the market as they here, just take the whole thing, and we don't want it.
Well, I mean, they did give back the 15th pick, so I think this is probably better than giving up both of their second round picks, because this isn't a draft where you're talking about. I feel like there's a lot of, once you get past the quarterbacks, if you're not looking for a quarterback, there's a lot of kind of parity in this draft in terms of what a lot of teams are looking at. So, for me, the pick, if you look at what the Jets gave up 15 years ago for Favre, I think it was like just one pick, and it was conditional based on how much he played and how well he played. And there's way less protection. Like if Rodgers gets hurt and suffers like a serious injury in training camp and retires, like sending next year's second round pick is not going to look good. But if the Jets go to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 1968 season, no one's going to care. Right. So I think it's like it's going to depend on how this goes. But I do think like I like that they're going for it. I think this is a window. I think Rodgers is probably, out of all the quarterbacks who had the potential to be available this offseason, is the most ready, still the guy who's most ready-made to give you the best chance to win right now. I think there could have been better options for a future moving forward, whatever. But to win right now, the Jets have a team that's capable of winning right now. There are some question marks, but I think this was a risk worth taking, because I think the payoff can be there. Just some things have got to break their way. They're not the favorites, but yeah, I think it makes sense. And I don't like the second round pick if I were them, but I also understand it. And like I said, it won't matter if they reach their potential.
Right, exactly. Well, Andy, we got to run, but thank you so much for coming on tonight, and good luck with all this coverage, and we'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
See you. All right, bye. All right, it's Andy Vasquez from the New Jersey Vance Media. So Aaron Rodgers is off to the beautiful land of New York. There, Adam. So
and that AFC's with the Bills and the Patriots, Dolphins. That could be the craziest division in all of football come over.
Exactly. Well, let's keep on rolling here. We got our good friend Wally Backman on the phone here.
Chris, how are you?
I'm doing good, sir. How you doing? Thank you so much for coming on. Somehow, some guy named Aaron Rodgers took the spotlight today. I don't know why.
No, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on the program. How are you doing lately?
I'm doing great.
That's good. That's good. Ready for another good season up there in Long Island?
It should be pretty interesting, yes.
Nice. So I got to ask you, you got Daniel Murphy as your first baseman. So how did you get him to come back out of retirement?
He actually, Chris Miller called me, and who I actually played with the Mets. And Murphy, they're the ones that reached out first.
Okay.
So Murph's in as good a shape as he was in when I seen him play in the World Series in 2015. So that's special.
Nice. That's cool. Well, what are you working on in spring training right now? What's the things that what are you as a manager looking for, getting ready for Friday's first game?
Well, I mean, it's such a short spring training here that the ideal is to get your pitchers as much work as they can possibly get in a short time. But we kind of talk to the pitchers, the starting pitchers especially, to try to be ready when they first get here. We have one of these rules, a double hook. So if the starting pitcher doesn't throw 5 innings, you lose your DH. So, yeah, it's a different rule. We have a grace period for like 15 days.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll all be stretched out by that time. But it's a different rule. I don't know. I don't really care for the rule that much, but that's the agreement that we have with Major League Baseball.
Yeah. So do you like these new rules that Major League Baseball is trying to work on? Was this pitching clock, or I know you're an old school guy like myself. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm old school still, but I will say this. I've been here since in New York since 1st of April, and I've gone to a few Met games, and I've talked to a few of the Major League players, and they really do like the clock.
Mm-hmm.
It shortens the game a little bit, so you're not playing those 4-hour games and things like that. So, we started all these rules in the Atlantic League. The bigger bases, things like that. I read an article today that they're talking about. I think last year they had 2,400 and some stolen bases. They're looking at 35 or 3,600 stolen bases at the pace it's going right now. So, when you talk, there's a 3.5-inch distance between base to base. Baseball's a game of inches. So, 3.5 inches is bigger than a lot of people think.
Right. Exactly. Adam, you got a question for us?
Yeah. Now, Wally, it's always a pleasure to talk with someone from the New York Mets. And what was it like for you to play at Shea Stadium and see that really big apple in center field go up every time the Mets hit a homer?
Well, you know what I mean. It's funny because I loved New York more so than I loved anywhere. Fans are tough. It's a great atmosphere. You go back to '86 and you got 56,000 people in the stands on a regular basis, or 55,000, whatever it held. And when I moved on from New York after, I think, 9 years with the Mets, I went to Minnesota, and I can remember I started the season in Minnesota 1-for-19.
Mm-hmm.
And the people in Minnesota still clapped for you when you ran down the base hard, and then made an out. But in New York, if you go 1-for-19, they may boo you off the field.
Right, exactly. It's because it's the New York media and the fans love their Mets, and it's just like you watch the team now. Like yesterday they lost to the Giants, and you're like, everybody's like, oh, they're not doing so. You split the Giants, for a 4-game series. It's still early in the year, people. Come on,
it's early in the year. You play 500 on the road, you play 750 at home, and you're supposed to go to the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. I do have one question. He brought up about the Mets and all that stuff, and you know me with the old school Mets, and I grew up watching you as a kid growing up. My brother was asking me a question the other night. I want to ask you. You remember that Ray Knight fight a couple of years ago? Back in '86 when Eric Davis slid into third base.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What was going through your mind during that whole that sequence? Because you were at second base. Was he yapping? What was going on?
Well, you know what? It was our motto was to go in and kick everybody's ass.
Right.
And when things went bad, everybody had each other's back. Eric Davis slid in hard to third base. Ray Knight was a Gold Glove boxer as a kid, and he smoked him pretty good. So we didn't take anything from anybody. It was, if your own brother was playing on the opposing team, he was 100% your enemy during that game. So, the game softened a little bit. That's not what you see today, but there's it's like the rules. So there's rule changes, game changes, and maybe too rapidly. They're trying to change some certain things, but that's what it is,
Yeah. Well,
the commissioner has control of that stuff.
Right. Exactly. This week, when you play your first game on Friday, you go down to High Point, and the pitching coach is Frank Viola. So it's pretty funny. A former Met, former Twin. What's it like having him in the Atlantic League?
Hey, Frankie's a great guy. Let me tell you, I had Frankie as a pitching coach in AAA in Las Vegas for the Mets. And trust me, I tried to get Frankie to come on to Long Island, but he only lives like 40 minutes from there now in North Carolina, High Point. So I get it. High Point is fortunate to have somebody like Frankie Viola.
That's awesome. Yeah, and he's a great pitcher too. And it's fascinating how he was a great Cy Young Award winner in Minnesota, and then he comes back home and he was really good in St. John's, University. Yeah, so it was
funny.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Plus, he was the World Series MVP that year too. So
right,
Frankie is he's a special person. Him and I talk on a regular basis. I know that he knows what he's doing with the pitching, and so when we open up against High Point, I know Frankie's going to be prepared against our hitters, but we'll also be prepared against their pitchers.
Yeah. Do you guys do a little trash talking before the game, or do you guys?
Oh, 100%. 100%. No. That's what old school baseball's all about. You got to talk some shit. And, Frankie's one of them that I do it with, and I love the guy. I mean, if you see the Twitter account, Frankie, I get him when he falls asleep on a bus in about 2 minutes.
He does.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
So I tweet. I don't tweet much, but when I do tweet, 90% of it's with the manager Jamie Keefe actually played for me, and so they'll send me a picture as soon as Frankie goes to sleep. The bus might still be in the parking lot.
Wow, that's awesome.
Wow.
Jeez, I just found out the other day, Wally, that Ed Hearn is one of the coaches in Kentucky. So it's pretty cool that some former Met guys you guys are getting chances to be managers.
No, it's Barry Lyons.
Barry Lyons, sorry, it's Barry Lyons. I'm thinking
Barry Lyons. Yeah, Barry's the manager for the Kentucky team in Lexington, and Barry's a great guy too. Unfortunately, Barry and I talk all the time. Because this is his first year in the Atlantic League, but Barry is. We don't play each other this year.
Oh.
It's the only team I think we don't play all year. The only way we play him would be in the playoffs. So hopefully he gets there, we get there, and we can play each other, and the Long Island Ducks will kick their ass.
Another title. Well, that's great. Yeah. Awesome. That's awesome. Well, Wally, thank you so much for coming on tonight. I appreciate you. Take some time in your busy schedule, and good luck with the trip down to North Carolina and win some games. And I hope to see you in Frederick or York or wherever you guys come around this area.
Hey, anytime. Come see me anytime you want.
All right, man. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thanks, Wally.
You guys take care.
All right, see you. Bye.
Bye.
I love that.
I love Wally. Wally's.
Wally,
I can remember Wally. Although when Wally was a Met,
and apologize for
the Shea Stadium, and it's like it brings back memories.
Yeah, I do apologize to people who are watching us here on our program.
Yeah,
we try to be family friendly, but family friendly, but Wally's a good guy.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
He talks to you like it is. And
yes, he is. Yep.
And it's great that he called me, and I'm like, this is cool, and I have his phone number too. So if I need something,
there you go, Chris.
There we go. But thanks for the folks out there in Long Island at the Ducks there, and Mike, who gave us Michael, who gave us the opportunity to talk to him, the general manager. So thank you so much for doing that this evening. If you just were underneath a cave for the last 24 hours.
Yep.
You probably missed this guy, and this guy also had a great time yesterday on the broadcast.
Did he ever, Chris? Did he ever?
So let's play this real quick here, and we'll bring in EJ in a minute. Oh, wrong one. Hold on. I grabbed the wrong one. Yeah, that was the one he won the Cheetah. So here it is. Here it is.
The satisfying moment of the match, sponsored by Snickers. Nothing satisfies like a Snickers. Tackett.
Thank you, man. That was epic.
A champion in Wauwatosa. Fifth title of the year. 2 majors. E.J. Tackett. Incredible.
What a performance by that man. Taking down the best in the world.
Still unmuted here. All right, folks, welcome back to the program. We have our good friend E.J. Tackett with us, winner of yesterday's World Championship of Bowling out there in Milwaukee, and he's back home in his beautiful state of Indiana. So, EJ, thanks so much for coming on tonight. I guess you got to be the year of EJ. That's what everybody's calling it right now. 5 titles, 2 majors this year. What's working well for you this year? I know we talked back in February? Yeah.
It was, end of February, maybe.
Yeah. So what's been working really well?
When we were in Wichita, I guess.
Yeah. So what's been working perfectly? Because you've been on TV a lot. Everybody's getting they're getting to love you. Yeah.
I've been bowling well. Been keeping up with transitions. Just seeing the lane really, really well. And, I think that's really helped me excel this year in what I've been doing. And I've been executing well and taking advantage of all the good opportunities that I've had and all the good breaks that I've got.
Yeah. So talk about Milwaukee. You won 2 titles out of that great state of Wisconsin. You've won the first night last Monday. We were on we were doing our show, so we were watching the highlight, watching it live here in my studio and keeping everybody updated. And then you come back, the next night and had an opportunity to win another title. But our good friend Jacob Buckcliff, we're going to get him on next week, hopefully, beat you in the finals. So and then you come back this past Sunday. And basically, top seed. Jason's just rolling through everybody. So what was the pressure like with bowling against Jason? Because I know you guys have a little history against each other.
Well, I think you could ask Jason that same question.
Okay.
He's one of the greatest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe one of the greatest the game has ever seen. Arguably the greatest with all the major championships that he's won. But I knew I had to go out and bowl really well because over the years, Jason is typically in the past has always showed in the title match, and he definitely did that yesterday. He bowled his highest game in the last match.
Mm-hmm.
And I expected nothing less. And honestly, when he got up in the 9th frame, I expected to not have a chance because of what he's done in his career and how great he's always been in those situations. He seems to always find a way to put someone away. I was very fortunate that I had even an opportunity to do what I did. And it felt really, really good to take advantage of that opportunity and get it done and get my 4th major championship.
Yeah, that's great. Well, let me bring this guy in that wants to talk to you. Adam, go ahead.
Good evening, champ. What was it like for our viewers out there? There's a lot of oil patterns you guys went through World Series of Bowling. Tell us about the grind you guys went through all week up there at Wauwatosa.
Well, Adam, I'm actually having a really hard time hearing you. You were breaking up a little bit there. I apologize for that.
Okay. He said, go ahead. Repeat it again. Go ahead.
What was the grind like at the World Series of Bowling last week at Wauwatosa, EJ?
The crowd was awesome the entire week. The bowling center was full nearly every single night. Obviously, bowling at 11 in the morning, you can't expect the bowling center to be full because everyone's at work. But And the evening squads, the bowling center was definitely popping. The crowd was huge. They were awesome. They were loud, which is always great. I love when crowds get into what guys are doing, especially when things come down to the wire on those animal patterns where guys are trying to make shows, they're trying to make checks. The crowd really got into it, which was really cool. And then the shows themselves, I think, pretty much sold out, I think, every single night, which is absolutely amazing. The crowds were awesome. They were electric. And it just shows the type of bowling town that Milwaukee is and always has been. So it was really good and cool to go to a place that has such rich history in bowling and in the PBA.
Mm-hmm.
So it was awesome going back to Milwaukee and seeing all those people and hearing everyone cheer for their favorite player.
Yeah. So you're in the bowling alley tonight. So I guess you can't get away from the game. I thought you were gonna.
Well, my parents own a bowling center, and I bowl Monday night. Tonight, I decided I'm not bowling, but even though it is league championship night and my team's in the roll off to win the league championship, I decided that I didn't want to bowl today since in the last 2 weeks I bowled a whole league season.
Right, exactly.
I figured I'd take a day off, and this is the first day I haven't touched a bowling ball since the day before practice of the whole World Series. So what was that? Like April the 7th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So April the 6th was the last day I didn't touch bowling.
Jeez. So how did you keep yourself, loose during that whole thing? Because like the World Championship, I saw it sat on TV, 72 games. Wow. I can't even bowl maybe 6 without my hand hurting. Like what do you do?
Yeah, and that doesn't count, all the practice sessions right before block start, practice session we had before the tournament started, the games that I bowled on TV shows, including USA vs. the World, the 2 shows that I was on, the practice you do for those, the practice I did on Wednesday when I wasn't on the Shark Show for the World Championships, match play on Thursday. I went in practice for, hour and a half, get ready for that, and then bowled those 12 games that day, and then we had practice sessions on Friday and Saturday for the show on Sunday. So if you include all the extra games and all the extra practice, I would say easily I bowled well over 100 games.
Oh my God!
Wow.
I totally understand why you took the night off. I totally understand.
Yeah.
And I drove home last night from Milwaukee, and so tonight was come in, hang out with the guys, have a couple beers, and just cheer them along. Yeah.
Well, next week
along for the league championships tonight.
Well, you can't bowl left-handed. Try left-handed.
I don't want to bowl at all. Then I wouldn't be able to because league championships. I would be considered a new player.
Oh, a new player. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I wouldn't have enough games in to qualify.
I didn't know that. Okay. Interesting. So you have a week off. You're going to spend some time with the family and do all the chores that your beautiful wife wants you to do, because I know she's dying for you to get things done. And I know you and I talked about your beautiful wife the other day on the phone. So what does she do to help you on tour? She does a lot of stuff for you. It makes you get you ready to go, right?
Yeah. So I got home last night, just chilled out, and today I got up, did some cleaning in the house, did some. I'm on 3.5 acres, so. During the winter and stuff, a lot of branches get knocked down from all the trees. So I spent a couple hours outside today, playing pickup sticks, as I say, and throwing them in the fire pit and burning those. So just trying to do a little bit at a time. Sometimes it might become a little bit overwhelming because I do spend so much time away from home.
Right.
But just do a little bit here and there, and it's not so bad.
Yeah. Well, you're off next week to New Jersey, so that's the next tour stop for you guys. I'm hoping to get up there sometime that weekend of the 5th and 6th to see you and all that stuff, because I'm only 3 hours away, 4 hours on a good day, here in Maryland. I'm from up that area. I'm from New York, Long Island, that area. So, what are you looking forward to that next week's Player Championship? I know another grueling, tournament, pretty much. You have to bowl, 2 weekends, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. We're going back to what's now Bolero, North Brunswick, is formerly known as Carolier, and there's a lot of history in that building. Where Pete had his last U.S. Open win, Norm won his U.S. Open in 2011, and 2011 was I was 18, still in high school. Bowled the U.S. Open there, and actually I think I finished about 18th or so as a high school senior. So that was pretty cool. So I've got a little bit of history there. I also led the Masters there. The only Master show I ever made was in that building in 2014, the #1 seed. Ultimately lost to Jason Belmonte in that show, but I'm looking forward to going back there. It's a place I've always liked. Haven't been. We went there, I think, about four years ago when Bolero did the Elite Series. We bowled there a little bit, but as far as a PBA event and bowling a whole event in that building, it's been nearly 10 years.
Wow.
Since we did that, so I'm looking forward to going back, and I'm excited to go back.
Yeah. Well, Adam, I think you and I were talking about it the other day. If EJ, I know, right now everybody's thinking he's Player of the Year, but we're not going to bring that up right now. But I think Adam wants to do something for you. If you do win the Player of the Year, what's the plan, Adam?
Yeah, EJ is called. Now, if you win the Player of the Year, you and Natalie and Chris are all flying to North Carolina, and we're all going to my favorite barbecue restaurant here in my hometown, and it's got some outstanding barbecue. You guys would love it.
You think that's cool?
Yeah, I really didn't hear him again. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. He was saying, if you win the Player of the Year, he wants to fly you, me, and your beautiful wife down to his neck of the woods, and there's a beautiful restaurant that sells great barbecue, North Carolina barbecue.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that sounds. I mean, I'm always down for barbecue. We got a good spot here. That's literally just down the street.
Right.
I can almost hit a golf ball to it from our bowling center that has literally some of the best ribs that I've ever had in my entire life. They fall right off the bone. I eat it with a fork.
Oh wow.
They're just
wow.
so good. They do everything in house. They make their own sauces in house. It's kind of just a little itty bitty place, but they crank out some really good food. So I'm always down for some good barbecue.
That's cool. That's awesome. Well, EJ, I won't let you go. I know you want to enjoy your week, relax, get some R&R, get some sleep in, because you've got another grueling 2 weeks next week, with bowling, and I hope to see you in New Jersey. I hope to be there to meet you in person, and hopefully we'll have a good little conversation. And good luck the rest of the week, relaxing, and good job yesterday winning the title, because I was literally on the edge of my chair watching you, and I was like, come on, get 2 strikes, and I was doing a fist pump for you. Yeah.
I was on the edge of mine as well. It was definitely nerve-wracking, but moments like that are what we live for. To have that opportunity to get up, throw 2 strikes in the 10th to win a major championship is what we dream about when we're kids.
Right.
That's what I practiced doing when I was a kid. I know I talked about it with the U.S. Open. I dreamt about throwing a double against Norm Duke to win the U.S. Open. And I got to live out that dream. It wasn't against Norm, but I got to live out that dream and be able to do it. And to do it twice in one season is, like I said, I mean, it's literally what dreams are made of.
Right, exactly.
And to be able to get it done is just, I don't even know how to describe how it feels, because it's a life's worth of work that went into that moment.
Right, exactly.
And it's so satisfying.
No, that's true. Hey, I love before I let you go, I love your comment during the World, when you bowled at the Holler House. When you bowled against Don Barrett in the World, that versus the World, you want to send the history back to London. Yeah. I think that was funny as anything. I was laughing. I was like, did he really say that? and I had to replay the
Yeah.
whole thing. I'm like, that is awesome. Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and the funny part about that was Dom was the only one that didn't take me serious.
Oh, he didn't take you serious?
Everybody took me like so literal. It was hilarious.
I was laughing here in Maryland going, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, buddy. Well, thanks for coming on the show. I feel like this is going to I'm going to turn my show over to Sports Talk with EJ, Tackett, and myself. Maybe we'll just do that as and Adam down the road, because you've been on all winter long, so in spring. So keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right.
See you, man. Bye. Bye. All right, folks. That's EJ Tackett, the winner of the Cheetah and the World Championships in Milwaukee. At 8:30 tonight, we'll talk to our good friend Dave Ryan from Fox CBS Sports and all that. So, our friend of the show. Next stop for the professional bowlers, so they have a week off to relax. They roll into New North Brunswick, New Jersey, where Pete Weber won. Who do I think I am?
Who do you think I am?
Yeah. Hey, yesterday, back to that whole the F-bomb thing on TV, Del Ballard wrote on Facebook, he was like, what do you think about all that, with the curse word? And Pete writes, you know what I think about?
I know. Yeah. And and all you viewers out there, to me, know EJ's wife, Natalie, is an incredible lady. I've known EJ and Natalie for a long time.
Right.
I was there in 2016 when EJ won his first world championship at the National Bowling Stadium. And when he won that, he immediately went to his dad and gave his dad a really big hug. It was quite the emotional scene. And I'm just so happy for EJ and Natalie and the whole family. What he's accomplished this year on the PBA tour. That was his 5th title, Chris, and the most in a season is 8 by Mark Roth.
Yes, it is.
We still got a long, we still got a few tournaments left. So could EJ catch Mark Roth?
He could.
We still got the Players Championship. We got the Doubles Championship. We have the Super Slam, which yours truly will be at in Florida. So
we'll talk about that down the road. You and I will do something with that week. We'll get these guys on.
Yeah, and it's like I'll be taking a lot of videos, and I'm gonna try to shoot some interviews with some of the people down there. So check out our YouTube page that week, because you'll see footage from yours truly at Blair Jupiter.
That's awesome. Well, let's turn the page here. It's 8:04 here. Thanks for joining us here to Sports Talk with Chris Heidel. We had some breaking news in the beginning of the show. We kind of did a quick through Aaron Rodgers. If you just logged in or you just watched it, Aaron Rodgers is now a Jet for the 2023 season and even more time. And then we had Wally Backman on, former New York Mets second baseman and current Long Island Duck manager, a really cool guy, and he just tells it like it is. That's what Wally is. And if you just logged in and you missed interview with EJ Tackett, you can watch all this stuff on our YouTube page. Just type in Herbathon Sports Radio and you can watch it anytime you want. Even
make sure you subscribe, hit the little
Yes.
bell icon so you never miss an episode of Sports Talk.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
That's
now
cool.
It's time to talk some men's college lacrosse, Chris.
Yes, and we're going up to a beautiful place that you're probably in your neck of the woods.
Yep.
Worcester, Massachusetts.
Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah, I've been there once. So I was there because one of the colleges I used to do for Bowie State, Assumption University, was in.
I've heard of it. Yes, I have.
Yeah, and Brian Kelly was the coach for Brian Kelly, the guy that George was like. He went to Assumption University. So anyway, so let's bring in the head coach of the Crusaders, Coach Reppert, joining us tonight. Hey, Coach, how you doing? Oh, you're still muted. Hold on.
There we go.
There we go. Hello and welcome to the program. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yes,
No
sir.
problem. You know what? It's been a tough year for you guys in the Patriot League. I was looking at your record. What do you do during this whole tough year to, because I know you have a lot of seniors who was hoping to make it to the lacrosse championships and all that stuff, but this year is not going to happen. But how do you keep everybody happy and saying, like, look, we're almost there. We have little struggles, but we'll be better next year.
Yeah, I think, it's a little bit cliche, but I think a lot of what we do is focus on the process and what we call our approach to excellence. And we show up every day and just try to get better. And certainly the guys in the locker room have been fantastic and just continue to work and enjoy being together and competing in a game that we love. So it really actually has been relatively easy with the group we have to just keep going out there and enjoying each other and competing even during this tough stretch.
Mm-hmm. So you're entering your third season up there. You spent some time down in our neck of the woods here in Maryland, at the University of Maryland, and then you were an alumni of Navy. So you know this area real well. So how do you get all these good recruits from the DMV and all that stuff to say, "Hey, go up north. We need you. Come on up."
Yeah, absolutely. I think being down there, kind of knowing the landscape and some of the hotbeds and some really good teams. And, again, it hasn't worked out for us yet so far this year, but it's a great opportunity to play in a great league in the Patriot League and get a high-class education, and set yourself up for success after graduation while getting enjoying a great experience up here in Worcester. In one of the top and biggest cities in New England.
Yeah, it is. It's a great little town because I was there years ago for Assumption University, and I was amazed by how many churches and it's very nice and it's quiet. And I'm like, this university, Assumption University, is probably right down the street from you guys. And I'm like, I don't know. There's it's quiet. So it's like I guess you enjoy a quietness of a college town, except for the rowdiness of College Park and where you've been in between.
Yeah, it's interesting. They actually call it a college town up here. It's just made up of a bunch of smaller schools. So I think there's 7 colleges in Worcester. So it is a little bit of a different feel from College Park, but a great town and a great city nonetheless.
Yeah. Adam, you got a question?
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
I can say Worcester is also home to the Worcester Woo Sox, which is the AAA affiliate of the Boston Red Sox. And they play at beautiful Polar Park. And, you guys, like Chris said, have had a struggle this year. Looking at your non-conference schedule and your conference schedule, is there one game or 2 games you can look back on, that like you could have played better, we could have scored more goals, but we came up just a little bit short?
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of games reflecting back on the year where, we were in the game, we were playing well, we were doing a good job, and we just had a stretch where give the other team credit and our tough opponents that we play, they did a good job of going on a run, and we just maybe didn't make the right plays at the right times to stop that or giving ourselves a chance to win. So there's actually a lot of those games that we reflect back on and just kind of moments in time. And it goes back to Chris, your earlier question. I think that's what we've just been focusing on is trying to shrink those moments of time, trying to give ourselves those opportunities as we go on runs and learn how to play winning lacrosse. Yeah.
Well, this Friday you're playing against Colgate, your final game of the year. I know it's not the final. You don't want to make it the final game of the year, but it has to be, because I don't think you qualify for the Patriot tournament, have you?
No, unfortunately we didn't this year.
Yeah, that stinks. What is it, like the top 4 or how these lacrosse tournaments are weird? Yeah, because I'm thinking people like in like the CAA men's basketball, everybody plays one game of the tournament, and in basketball, but then lacrosse is like the top 4, and then everybody else is like, go play golf, see you later. Yeah.
Go recruit.
Or recruit.
Yeah. Every league does it a little bit differently. There are 9 teams in men's lacrosse in the Patriot League, which is a relatively big league. So 6 of the teams qualify. So teams, I guess it's 3 through 6 play a week from tomorrow, and then they go to the semifinals and the championships the following weekend. So, but another great opportunity for us to go to Colgate, and again, it's been about improving. It's been about playing better every day and every game, and this is another great chance for us to get a Patriot League win. And as we talked about, the goal of every team is to win the last game of the year. You wish it was going on a little bit longer, but it's still our goal is to go in and try to get a victory down in Hamilton this weekend.
At one point, Colgate was ranked 5th in the country, right? Yeah, at one point, right?
I'm not sure this year.
Okay, or I might have one of those teams mixed up.
Yeah.
But I know somebody up north was like, it's been in the top 5 because it's been really weird watching, because I've been watching a little lacrosse here and there with our program here. And I'm like, okay, you got Maryland's struggling a little bit this year, because, it's hard to repeat as a champion. I'm sorry, anybody who wins the championship a year before, you have a bullseye on your back and you're like, come get us. And you see this year, Virginia was number 1. It's been back and forth like everybody else is going back and forth. So, it's a weird year for lacrosse.
Yeah, it's been up and down. I think there are, you kind of have the top 4 or 5 teams. It seems like maybe Cornell might be who you were thinking of.
Yeah,
up here. They've been doing a good job, and certainly Coach Tillman and the Maryland guys set the bar pretty high with what they did last year. So, there's a lot of great teams. There's a lot of great players. And we tell our guys, and I think it's true, if you look across the scores across the country, anybody can beat anyone on any given day. And it is a little bit cliche, but I think it's so true in our sport. And Colgate is a lot like us. Their record doesn't probably indicate how well they've played at times, and they've had a lot of close games. You look at Army, who's number 1 in our league, and Colgate took them to a 1-goal game. So they certainly do have the potential, and looking forward to a great battle on Friday.
And you had a question?
Yeah. Your only win came against UMass Lowell of the America East. So how can you take that win and tell your guys, we can wrap up the season on a 2-game winning streak, and go into next year knowing what happened this year, you can get some good momentum going into next year.
Yeah, I think that you nailed it. I think we're looking forward to that. I think we have 12 seniors on our team right now that have been through a lot, and they've been through a coaching change. They've been through their COVID season. There's been a lot going on, and they've had ups and downs. And it was great to get the win against UMass Lowell and win our final home game. For those guys, and we would love nothing better than to send them out on a winning note. And certainly then that's our focus. And I think the next part of the focus is, like you said, getting that momentum going into next year and looking to turn what we ended with and keep that going as we get into the next season. But really our focus is more on this game and winning it for our seniors. And I think taking the victory from last week, it's kind of, we proved to ourselves that we are capable. And that's what we've really been focusing with our guys on is you guys can make these plays. We just need to be consistent with them.
Yeah. So you were talking about earlier about recruiting. What do you do during the summer? I know there's a lot of these little lacrosse tournaments, high school seniors, juniors. I know that one year I was helping out a couple friends of mine. There was this big lacrosse thing. I think it was down there like in Montgomery County or something like that. So, here in Maryland. So what do you do during the off season? You just drive around and put mileage on your new car. And so tell your wife, sorry, it was a new car, but now I have to go to these places.
Yeah, I think we try to be strategic about where we go, and certainly the advent of video and those kinds of things for recruiting has helped a little bit. But we try to get out and see as many guys as we can and make sure we're getting our brand out there, with Crusader Lacrosse and letting people know what we're about and where we're going as a program. And, a lot of, as you mentioned, a lot of those events and things are down towards you all and towards that area. So, it is, once you get down there, it's a pretty tight radius between, Annapolis, you got Howard County, Philadelphia, Delaware have some tournaments, but it's a lot of road time and a lot of time watching guys compete throughout the summer.
Yeah. Is the transfer portal the same as in football and basketball? Is it a big list that everybody just plops on there and you just go, I think I want that guy?
Yep, that opportunity is there. So again, that's something I think every sport has a little bit different rules. I think some of those sports, it's only open for a certain window. In lacrosse, it's pretty much open for us right now. So certainly taking a look at that and seeing what's available. And really the bigger part of that is finding the right fit for a guy to come in on your team and kind of insert himself in the middle of what the normal process is. It's really important that certainly they got to be a good lacrosse player and a great athlete, but we want them to be a great individual and student athlete as well.
Exactly. Well, Coach, thanks so much for coming on tonight. I know you're good luck on Friday, and hopefully you guys could win, like you say, 2 in a row to go into next year, and hopefully they'll carry over to something, because I know teams like to win 2 in a row or whatever to help them carry over to spring ball or summer ball, and then you guys get ready for the next year's season, and you'll be good, hopefully.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. We are making progress, and it's exciting to see. So appreciate you having me on.
No problem. Have a great rest of your year. Okay?
Thank you very much, guys.
See you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, that's Coach J.L. Reppert from Holy Cross Men's Lacrosse here on the program. So yeah, that's bright things up there in Worcester, Massachusetts. You always start at the bottom, and you work your way up. There's something happening with teams, and when you get good, and you have to have 1 year of like planning to get back to be where you are.
True to that. That's true, Chris. I'm very familiar with Western Massachusetts. I have family that is not far from Williams College in a town called Williamstown. And for those of you who don't know, there's a really big rivalry in Division III college football between Amherst and Williams. And actually, ESPN's College Game Day has gone there once for a show in college. And it's and lately the game has been broadcast on the New England Sports Network, Nesson. So it's nice to see, the guests from Western Massachusetts on the show.
Exactly, and you're from that neck of the woods,
Yeah, yes, I am.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I gotta get a drink of water.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it, Chris.
Sorry for getting up in the middle of the show here. We've been going 3,000 miles in like 20 minutes?
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to get ready to get the coach of Mount St. Mary's on. They're at a awards banquet, so we'll do the best we can to get him on tonight. There is the blue and white banquet for his players, and they have qualified for the MAC tournament.
Yes, they have, Chris. Yeah.
The funny thing is, Adam, we had them on beginning of the year, and they lost.
Yes, we did. We sure did, Chris.
To Manhattan, when we had them on. And ever since then, they ran 7 in a row until they lost last weekend to Siena. But they're still the second seed in the tournament, and they play Saturday, the winner of the teams that play on Friday. So let me see if Coach Tom is here, and we'll, hopefully he'll be picking up the phone here. So. We're doing a lot of phone interviews this evening, because it's easier to get a hold of people.
Hi, this is Tom. Sorry I missed your phone call, but please leave me a short message.
He'll probably call me back. I texted him earlier, but I guess he with the what's going on there, the blue and white banquet. Yeah, it's all right. We'll get him on. Hopefully, we'll get him on before the end of the show. We'll circle around. If he calls during the Dave Ryan thing, we'll get him on after Dave. So here, what's going on here? The lower seed in that tournament, the semifinal starts Thursday. Manhattan is they play Thursday, so Manhattan is the number 1 seed, and then Mount St. Mary's is the 2 seed. So Manhattan plays the lower seed between Siena or Sacred Heart, and then I think Mount St. Mary's gets the winner of the Maris Quinnipiac. I heard it the other day.
Quinnipiac.
Yeah, Quinnipiac. Yeah, the one up in Connecticut just won the hockey.
Quinnipiac. They actually just won their first NCAA men's hockey title.
Yeah, I heard that the other day.
Yeah. Quinnipiac is in Hamden, Connecticut. It's called. I know exactly where that town is. So it's called. So you were wondering.
You and I have to go to New England during the summer. I need a tour guy. Yeah. You and I need to go.
I could take you around New England, Chris. We could go up. I could take you, to where I went to school in New Hampshire and go introduce you to some of my friends that are still up there. And it's called. I know New England.
I'll stop by and give a call to Coach Mack and see if he's around. Maybe Coach Sean McDonald and I could hang out and have a beer or two or something. Yeah,
sure.
The old New Hampshire coach for football. Good friend.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So last Saturday they came up short, in the Metro Athletic Conference regular season finale to Siena. So they're still the 2nd seed. So
that's pretty good, Chris.
It's a home game. It's a home playoff game.
Yeah.
And they bring people to Emmitsburg.
Yeah, and and it's like the MAC gets a lot of good exposure from ESPN. Having semifinals on, and I think and the finals are going to be, I believe, on ESPNU. So it's good all around exposure for the conference.
Exactly. Speaking of next week, next week is actually horse racing week because you have the Kentucky Derby.
Yes, it is. The Run for the Roses next month. Yes, it is.
And your friend, I was trying to get on your friend Jessica. She's going to join us next Monday because I had too many people on this week.
Cool. So to let all of you viewers know, next Monday, we're going to have on one of my friends. She ran the Boston Marathon. And when she's done running marathons, half marathons, she's a horse racing track announcer in Pennsylvania. So next Monday night, we're going to have my friend Jessica Paquette on the show, to preview the Kentucky Derby. And she is an incredible woman. What she does is awesome. A lot of people in the horse racing industry know she is. So tune in next Monday night. We're going to have my good friend Jessica Paquette on the show. So I'm looking forward to having her on, Chris.
Yes. And I was trying to think, because you were telling me she did the Boston Marathon and also
she did. Yep.
Lady. And I'm like, ooh, horse racing. We get somebody to talk the Kentucky Derby for us.
Yes. So I'm glad Jessica emailed you back, Chris. And
yes, we talked on I texted her Sunday.
Oh, nice. So next Monday night, everybody. We're gonna have my friend Jessica Paquette on the show, and she's a cool gal. It's called.
She's really cool. Hopefully, we'll try to get Coach Tom on. If not, we'll get our good friend Dave Ryan on joining us shortly.
Yep.
Dave Ryan is a fixture on this program. He's just like you.
Yeah.
Good friend of ours.
He was with Randy. He was with Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler up there at Blair Wauwatosa for the World Series of Bowling. And so it's going to be cool to get a broadcaster's perspective of the World Series of Bowling.
Exactly. And also the good thing is, he's been with Randy for, I didn't realize this, for 20 years.
Yeah. True, Chris.
That's almost like what Chris Schenkel and Nelson Burton Jr. were.
Yeah. Actually, I believe this is Randy's 22nd year as an analyst with the PBA Tour, most of all. Longest in history. So
wow. Even beating good old Nelson Burton? Really?
Yeah.
I thought Nelson was a little bit longer. I thought Nelson came out in 1975 and started doing it after Billy Waylew passed away.
this is the longest, of
Wow.
an analyst. So, what Randy's done, so everybody, next Monday night, Jessica Pockett's going to be on the show. So I'm looking forward to having her on the show. She and I are really good friends. And so, yeah. If you love horse racing, tune in next Monday.
Well, next week we'll have a special guest on our show. We had on our show back when he got hired at Towson University, the new men's football coach, Coach Pete Shinrek, who his father was here and he was played with the Baltimore Colts. So he just got done his first spring practice session with the Tigers, and we were trying to get him on tonight, but he kind of was late to getting into the ball game. But we'll have him on next week at 8:40 to talk about the spring practice and also get himself ready for the first year of the CAA.
Yeah, that's right, Chris.
That's
right.
Yep, just around the corner. Coming up at 8:45. Speaking around the corner, our good friend Coach Wilson from Morgan State University will be joining us. He just got done his second spring practice for his second year of coaching, and they're hoping to turn things around there at Morgan. And I think he's the right man for the job because he took Bowie State and turned them around as well.
Good
friends to go back way back.
Yeah.
And then at 9:05, we'll dive into the ACC women's lacrosse down at your neck of the woods in Charlotte.
Yeah.
We're
going to have the coach of the Boston College Eagles, ACACIA WALKER-WEINSTEIN, is going to join us. The ACC is really good in not only men's lacrosse but women's lacrosse too. So
I thought Florida State had a women's lacrosse team.
No,
they don't.
They do not.
I thought they did.
No, they do not, Chris.
Weird. They should get one.
It's what I know. Clemson does. Boston College, North Carolina. Mm-hmm. I think Notre Dame, Syracuse. So
Speaking of Clemson, I don't want to interrupt you. We were supposed to get the Clemson women's coach on tonight, but we got too many people on. She's going to come on next week.
Clemson. Clemson celebrated their inaugural season.
I know. I thought they've been playing for years until I was reading it. I'm like, inaugural season, and they're ranked 17th in the country.
Of women's lacrosse, down there in Clemson, South Carolina, and they opened up their season against Wofford of the Southern Conference, and it was on the ACC network. So, Clemson now has a women's lacrosse team, so it's going to be cool to have.
Well, they just added 2 new programs. They added 2 new programs the last 3 years. They added softball and women's lacrosse.
Women's softball team is doing really good down there in Clemson. So,
maybe we get our good friend Trevor Gross to come on and talk about the softball team because
there you go, Chris. And
I'll text him and see if he wants to come on because I know he loves the Tigers. He loves
his Tigers. It's called
the funny thing, he's from this area. He's from my neck of the woods.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm a kid from Maryland go down to Clemson. We would have gone to College Park.
True.
So I guess Coach Tom is busy. I texted him and he never got back to me. So wait a minute, I got a text message here. Hold on. Okay, he said he can't talk right now.
Okay.
That's okay. I'll tell him next week. Get you on the show next week. So I guess I got my show already planned for next Monday.
There you go, Chris. Yeah.
Hey, a lot of easy stuff here, folks. I am dealing with. I had a nice bout with poison ivy.
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Chris did have a battle with poison ivy, and
I lost. So hopefully, you'll see it on my face. I think it's all gone up here.
Yeah.
But I look like I got beat up, by the folks there, Yeah, but folks, a moral to the story is wear gloves.
Amen.
Because you trying to be Hulk Hogan or you're trying to be some kind of macho guy, it doesn't really work. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Yeah. So I'm taking the old. I don't go back to work till Wednesday because I took 3 days. I took sick. I had a doctor's note for 3 days.
There you go.
Because
Smart.
because people, I'm sorry, if you work in our profession, dude, we're in retail. You
Yep.
don't want somebody to look like this.
True.
Yeah, serving you or helping you. Yeah,
Yeah.
and to me, I'm thinking like on Friday, I'm thinking to myself, going, "Wait a minute here. Why am I doing this to myself when I know people need help?" But I had one lady, short story here before waiting for Dave Ryan to join us. Hopefully, Dave got the message because I texted him. Yeah, let me make sure you got the link. Yeah. So anyway, so I just like, it's like you don't want people to look like that. Like, come on.
That's true, Chris. That's true.
Yeah. So let me text Dave to see if he's all set. I think he did. He texted me earlier. And I said, "Yeah. Are you set to go?" To join us. Hold on a second. So hopefully he got it, and if not, I'll send him the link here right now, so he, we'll have it. Because I thought I had his email,
Yeah.
but one of those things you can't help, So anyway, so Adam, how was your weekend?
Good. It was good. It was nice and warm down here in North Carolina. I'm ready to go down to Florida for the Super Slam. 24 days and counting until I get on that airplane.
Yeah,
25 until I step foot in Jupiter.
Let's bring in our good friend Dave Ryan, who just got back from good old Wisconsin.
Yeah, you had fun in Wisconsin, didn't you, Dave?
That was great, you guys. It was awesome. Good to talk to you. Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Absolutely amazing week. Great bowling, and what a way to finish for EJ yesterday. It was unforgettable. Good for him. Really great match.
Yeah, let's talk about that match. Yeah, I know you've been on behind the mic of good bowling matches throughout your career. It's like you've been on for 20 years with Randy. It's like wow, 20 years. Like,
yeah, it's hard to believe. I mean, there's a little time in there, Chris. Between when Rob took over, and then I got going with CBS again. But really, it wasn't. If you add it up, it's very close to 20 total. Randy's been there 23, as you guys know. It's the most ever in PBA Tour history as an analyst. He's just awesome and the best. But that was honestly, guys, of all the matches I've called and all the shows I've done, that had to be way up there. A, because it was a major. B, because of the trio of Titans, the big three that made the last two matches with Simo, EJ, and Belmo. And then for it to go down to the last shot in the 10th, we all were talking about it, kind of buzzing around the bowl in Wauwatosa yesterday, saying, he won it. He didn't lose. There were so many times in EJ's great career, unfortunately, where he has had trouble on TV at the end.
Yeah.
And that includes at the World Series in the second show with Butters. He could have easily won 3 titles total out of 5.
Right.
So for him to step up in the 10th and do it after Belmo put pressure on him, it was one of the best 10th frames of bowling between two of the best bowlers that I've ever called. I mean, it has to be. That it will go down in history as one of the great moments in the PBA, just because of the magnitude of the event, the fact it was a major, and EJ literally, completely cleared the path for himself to be Player of the Year. 5 titles, 2 majors. That's going to be pretty tough to overcome.
I think EJ's already wrapped up the Player of the Year, Dave. I mean,
I think so too.
I mean,
at this point, it'd be so surprising if he doesn't.
Right.
Yeah,
and he deserves it. He really came through when he had to, and that was
he did.
That was something that was so impressive. We had a good pre-match chat with him yesterday, and he said, "I never like to lose." The USA.
That's true.
I think really got him motivated. He was upset by that, by the world team just kind of hammering the USA 12-2 in that competition.
Yeah,
and I think he got even more motivated when he lost to Buttriff in the 10th when he left that 10-pin in the Scorpion show. So that it was an extraordinary week for him, and to see him turn the corner and now finish matches as opposed to having trouble at the end or letting someone else pave the way for him. That's a grueling event, guys. I mean, the 3 days on 3 patterns, the 60 games of bowling, and then the 12 with round match play at the end and bonus pins. It was I think all the guys we talked to yesterday, including Santu, said that was the hardest to make a show, the hardest I've ever been.
I'll agree, Dave. And
it was cool.
Yeah, and it's called. I went back and rewatched that on the PBA YouTube channel, and I felt like I was there. I was like, EJ was. I mean, after what Belmo did, getting those 3 strikes in the 10th, and then EJ had to respond with the double, and he won $1,000 from Pabst Blue Ribbon.
He'll take $100 grand plus the 1,000. 101,000 is pretty good.
And it's like, I mean,
I was
all
so
the years
impressed
I
too.
watched the PBA tour, and all the, that's in my top 5. I think it'd be hard to argue that. For you as a broadcaster, you already mentioned it, but that was, to me, you were so emotional yesterday. All throughout. That stepladder final had to be one of the greatest stepladder finals you've ever called. With Simo and EJ and Jason, Santu. Would you say that was one of the greatest stepladder finals you've ever called in your entire life of bowling?
I'd say it'd have to be way up there.
Yeah.
My first event was in 2002. It's been a long time, so it's pretty cool to think about some of the extraordinary events. And I have to go through some of the majors. I think it'd be pretty easy actually to rake through all the majors I've called, including the Masters this year, where Simo had the double elimination with Michael Martell. That was a cool format, but it wasn't close. I think you'd be hard pressed to find 2 things: A, the talent of the 5 bowlers, and then B, the dramatic finish in a major. You'd have to go back and look at every stepladder and kind of really give some serious thought to it. Take a deep dive into that to look where each bowler was at that point of the season. You might have to go back a long way to find that kind of 5 bowler stepladder with so much at stake, and then the great bowling to boot. To me, it was just an extraordinary day.
Yeah. It reminded me, I didn't get a chance. I was too little at the time, but Earl Anthony and Mark Robb. It sounded like it was just like that. Jason and EJ is like, EJ is like Mark Roth, and Earl Anthony's like Jason Belmonte because of the.
Yeah, it was the titans of the game. That's something Tom Clark, the commissioner, came over to us in the booth yesterday and said, look. Think about the 3 best tennis players at one time, the 3 best boxers at one time, and 3 best golfers at one time. Take an individual sport and find this trio of guys who went head or women who went head to head and were so good against each other. And I think that's what you had in that one show. And now you got to talk about EJ and Mark Roth's record in 1978. That's 8 titles.
Yeah, Chris and I were mentioning that, David.
Yeah, he's won 5 now. The issue is Mark Roth had 35 events that year.
Right.
Big difference, Mark Roth. So think about 35 versus 17. That's what is on the slate this year in terms of titles to win. The Lucky Larson, the Lucy still are coming up that are the non-standard events, but they are PBA Tour titles. So those and PBA Tour finals in Seattle. So a lot of bowling left, a great chance to do it. EJ said to us yesterday, I want to be remembered as the best of all time.
Don't forget the Super Slam down in Jupiter, Florida. Now it's called, is it going to be you or Rob Stone with Randy and Kimberly down in Florida?
I'll be there for that one.
I'll be there too. I'll see you there, Dave.
Look forward to seeing you. We'll catch up, take some selfies. How's that?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
We always do.
It's funny. Dave Ryan.
Dave. That Sunday is actually Kimberly's birthday too. So, if you didn't know that already. So, I think that atmosphere is going to be just incredible as what you guys experienced at Wauwatosa. You're going to have, if anything like what we saw yesterday is going to happen in Jupiter, I'm glad I'm getting on an airplane. I'm coming down there, and it's going to be a party atmosphere.
It's a drive for me. It's not too far. I'll tell you what, though. In this year, I've been able to do the Masters and then the World Series. The crowds have been incredible. The shows that I've done, even the NASCAR celebrity event.
Yeah, and actually the week after that, Dave, I'm actually going to the NASCAR Xfinity race in Charlotte the day before the Coca-Cola 600. So I'm basically going, to the PBA Tour event one week, and then next week I'm going to a NASCAR race. So it's like, I can't wait to get down there to Florida and hang out with you guys.
Sounds good. We
And
can't wait
hopefully you'll be in Portland for the PBA League in September.
Can't wait. I'm in. I'll see
Nice.
you there. See you there. Wouldn't want to miss Portland.
I mean, we
Even
can
in
talk
September.
college
Even
football
cooler than June.
going on that week too.
Yeah. Adam, it was funny. I ran into Dave down at the CA men's basketball, and it was funny. I haven't seen him for years. I go, "Hey, Dave Ryan." You're like, "Hey, Chris Heidel. How you doing?"
That was cool, man. It was cool to see Charleston win. I've done that tournament many years, Chris, as you know. And it was Charleston had a magical season. They ran into San Diego State in the first round, which is really, really hard. Obviously, Aztecs made the championship game this year, so they're that brick wall defense type team. But it was a good year, very good year for the Colonial in that Charleston was ranked and they were going to have a lot of national coverage. And I think they're expanding even more next year. More teams are coming in, so it's a great league, getting even better. And that was a super season for them. Charleston was just loaded with incredible human interest stories. Like it was like a dream for a broadcaster to call their games because of all the wild stories that program had for the 1 year. But Charleston was smart. They locked up Pat Kelsey for a long time. That's what you do at the mid-major level. You can't let your coach leave if you want to sustain success. Everyone wants to be Gonzaga and keep winning at a mid-major level.
Right.
It's very, very hard to do that. The key, of course, is keeping your head coach. You can't lose him. So in this case, they did it. Let's hope that he hangs out for a few more years and continues the great run there.
Yeah. Well, also, you got to give credit to Pat Scarry up here in Towson. He's been here so many years. I know he's been working his tail off. He's a good friend of the program, like you guys are, you and everybody else. And
great guy. Kim Prosser Man of the Year this year. Yeah. What a fantastic coach and a great job he's done. They came really, really close this year, but that's how it goes in that league. In the mid majors, generally it's a one bid league. Sometimes you'll get more than one if you're really lucky. Colonial has not had more than one in a long time. It's hard. They have great teams and great coaches, but the national picture with 68 teams in that tournament, it's hard for mid majors. Yeah. But it's a blast. I love covering the games, and there's nothing quite like college basketball. I'll be honest with you guys. I love it all. Doesn't matter what sport I'm doing. It's fantastic. Yeah, and yesterday was a great example of just that incredible history.
Yeah. We need to do is Pat Scarry and I were talking with Adam because this is Autism Awareness Month, and his son is autistic, and Adam's autistic as well. We need to do something to get the word out. And you said to me, we need to do a tournament, and like early in the year tournament. So we got to find out a way. Yeah, we need to find out a way. Maybe you have more plugs than we do.
I might have a couple. I love the idea. There's so many MTEs in the early season.
Yeah. Just to bring awareness
to 2 years that there are so many multiple team events. I think you'd have a lot of interest in that with that, Chris. The issue is finding the teams, finding the venue, promoters. I mean, that sort of thing probably has to happen a year or two out to make it realistic.
Right. Yeah, like not this year, like maybe 2 or 3 down the road.
Right. But I love the idea. I think that's for a great cause. I think you have a lot of interest because most of those events don't benefit any charity. They're just for profit. So if you were to create something like that, you might get some really good teams in there.
Yeah, because I was talking to my girlfriend last night, and I was saying to her, like, what if we have Duke and Maryland playing in a non-conference tournament, and it's for autistic awareness? That'd be really cool, And if you have it here in the state of Maryland, we'll say Towson or Baltimore down in the new arena we just remodeled. You bring all the old ACC fans into the area, and you'll sell tickets because people still want Duke to come back to Maryland to play Maryland basketball.
Awesome. I'm with you. But listen, guys, I got to run. I got to get the kids to sleep. Good to visit.
All right, thank you so much.
It's great seeing you guys.
I'll see you in Florida, Dave.
And I'll see you in Jupiter. And listen, let's hope that Tackett can continue to climb the ladder here. Now the Players is next. That's the last major of the year. It depends on the pattern, how his game looks in a couple of weeks. I would really venture to think that EJ's got a great shot to do it again. Why not? He told us the other day he thinks he's the most versatile bowler in the sport now, and it's hard to disagree with that.
Yeah,
he is just skyrocketed from where he was to where he is now. Just think about Belmo winning his 7th Player of the Year last year, and the difference between EJ in 2022 and 2023. It's night and day.
Hey, be a father. Thank you so much for coming on, and I'll see you in Jersey, hopefully. Okay.
Sounds great. Good night, guys. Thanks for having me on.
See you.
All right. Bye, Adam. Bye, guys.
Bye.
I'll see you, Dave.
All right, that's Dave Ryan, a good family man. Yeah,
yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah.
Hey, he was gone all week. I don't know. I don't know how his lovely wife let him come on for like 10, 15 minutes. So we need to make her. We got to put this in the budget here. Send baked goods.
Yeah.
I know Coach Wilson might want big goods after this one, probably. So I know Coach Damon Wilson, the head coach at Morgan State University, getting himself ready for his got done his spring game. So so Coach, how was your spring game and how was spring practice? Are you guys ready to go? If first game of the year was tomorrow?
No, not yet, Chris. We're not ready to play tomorrow, but we're headed in the right direction. We were able to finish up last Saturday. We stayed pretty healthy, which we're excited about, and we look forward to welcoming the new Bears that we have coming into the program in the fall.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say, how's your father doing? Because I know a couple of weeks ago we tried to get you on, and how's your dad doing?
He's still fighting. He's still in the hospital now, but he's fighting, and I appreciate your support and prayers through this time as he try to get himself together health-wise.
Yeah, I know he's proud of his son, being a head coach of a Power 5. Morgan State is a great university for football. I don't know if it's a sub-major, but it's one step above Bowie State, and he probably is proud of you ever since you've been doing that, right?
Indeed, man. I got a lot from my dad growing up. He was a youth league coach, and I used to sit out to practice and sit in the car in the parking lot and that sort of thing when he was coaching. So it's a lot of things that I learned from him at a very young age. He and my uncle are the two, more influential men in my life that guided me and gave me the desire to want to give back and coach ball.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about practice. Who stood out for you guys during this whole spring? Is there a quarterback Is there a quarterback controversy down there on Lock Raven Road?
I don't know about a controversy, but we held Carson Baker out as he, was recovering from surgery that he had in the fall. I think Deuce had a really good spring ball. We had a couple other guys. We were able to pick up a freshman mid-year, Smith, that's going to be a force in the conference and the FCS football. I think we had a good competition at that position. But once again, I think we don't have a controversy, but we have some depth there that we feel pretty good about.
Yeah. So let's sum up your first year there. I know it was not the year that you wanted. You were under 3-6, 2-3 in the conference and the MEAC. Is there something that you could build off of that to make it better for this year? Because I know your first couple two games of the year, you have to take on Richmond, and then you got to go to Akron. So you got tough right out of the gate.
Indeed. And you look at what Morgan State was in 21, they were a 2-win team, and we were able to win 4 this past year, which is a step in the right direction. Mm-hmm. As you mentioned, our non-conference schedule is very competitive. Our 22 season, we lost 3 games by, I want to say, 1 game by touchdown, 1 game at the last play of the game, 1 game by field goal. So, we could have easily had a few more wins in the column, but you don't win until it's time for you to win. And it wasn't time for us to win. We hadn't done all the little things right to give ourselves a chance to win those close ball games. But we have a very non-competitive non-conference schedule that we must be prepared for as we get ready for conference play.
Yeah. What is it like having that rivalry with Towson? Towson has a new coach down because Coach Ambrose, he did a good job. I think after 13, 14 years in the same place, I guess the message gets a little sour after a while. And you as a coach, you have to do the same thing every year to get the freshness of the players. Like, let's go hit these people instead of saying it's the same message. So how tough is it to coach for a very long time at one university? Because you were down Bowie State for a very long time.
I want to say it's all in how you set your program up. We always try to do some new things each year to keep the guys excited about the program and about the university. We did a number of staff development opportunities, had those every year where the staff got out and found some new ways of bringing things to the table, and it kind of kept it fresh. And it never gets old with winning. We had a lot of success, never get bored with winning. So that really helped us a lot. And, by us being at Morgan now, we're kind of starting that whole process over, taking over a program that hadn't won consecutively in quite a long time. And we're building from the ground up, but we have a great administration that's supporting the program, a great alumni base. So, like I said, we're excited about the direction that we're going.
Yeah, I was looking at the schedule, Adam. He has the first 5 games are CAA opponents. So I guess
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, and I was like, wow. Now, Coach, talk to us about the state of the MEAC football conference as a whole. I mean, it's always one of the premier HBCU conferences in the country. Is MEAC going to be really strong this year among, all the teams, you guys, North Carolina Central, Norfolk State, South Carolina State. You think the MEAC will get a lot of attention, in the HBCU world this year?
I think so. I think there's some very good football played in the MEAC. And one thing that I want to, that's important to me is to get away from having a strong HBCU conference. We want to be strong in FCS football. When you look across the board, you have over 120 teams playing FCS football. You don't want to compare yourself with just 20-something odd teams playing in the HBCU conferences with regards to the SWAC and the MEAC. So we want to make sure that our style of football, our brand of football is recognized and appreciated nationwide. And in order to do that, we must beat some of the CAA schools. We must beat some of these non-conference opponents so we can gain the necessary respect, for our conference.
That's a good point, and I agree. And you got to play the best talent to help you guys succeed in the conference, because you see this every year in college football. Let's take Florida State, for example. Their non-conference schedule is so difficult that helps them out getting ready for the ACC. It was a very good, hard conference. Same thing here in Maryland. They play a tough, non-conference schedule with Virginia and other schools. And you're thinking on the map going, oh, that could be a cakewalk. They could beat Virginia. But people don't realize it's not a cakewalk when you guys are coaches. You got to play these tough guys, and it's not a cakewalk. It's not a video game like you could just beat them by, one Hail Mary off of the A button, and you win, So, but people don't realize these teams are like, when they get their schedules, they look at it and go, oh, we have to be, everyone wants to be perfect. Right. Everyone has a perfect season, and it's few and far between you can run the table.
Right. It's definitely tough. And it's one thing I learned when we were at Bowie State was, in order to get the national recognition, you must beat those non-conference opponents. So we took the same mindset up the road to Morgan, and we understand it's a process. We can't cheat the process. There's no shortcut. We have plenty of work to do, but we're there every day chopping and getting after it.
Exactly. I agree. I totally agree with you. Coach, just talk about have you talked to your former, guys down there in Bowie and how they doing?
Indeed. I went past Saturday for the spring game. Like I told those guys before I left, man, I have 13 years of great memories as a head coach there. I have 2 degrees from Bowie State University. So that's a place that's always going to remain near and dear to my heart. But more important than anything, the relationships. The relationships are extremely important to me. And those young men gave me an opportunity to coach them. And it's something, whatever I can do to help them and their future endeavors, I'm going to do. And I wish the university and the program nothing but success.
Yeah. And hey, you guys gave me an opportunity to broadcast games on my station. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed that whole year. And I know we didn't have the winning streak, the wins. Like, I'm like, oh, I could go on to these big places and all that stuff. But hey, got me a chance to see Liberty City, North Carolina. I have never been back there since. and the funny thing is, I tell people the story about Cracker Barrel when we got there for breakfast, and this one waitress goes, "Oh my God!" I was like, "Yeah." I looked at them like, "Yeah, they're hungry." And they're like,
"Yeah." Cracker Barrel is a good place to go eat breakfast.
Yeah, but it was funny, Adam. Like these football players just rolling in these little towns, and whatever football.
I believe it, Chris. I believe it. Those guys got to eat. Those guys got to eat.
They got to eat, But it was great. It was great memories, and it was great to, that last game at Shepherd University when it was snowing
in September.
Yeah.
Oh, there ain't nothing like a snow game.
The snow game, but it was funny. I'm like, we were in this booth, and I had the other guy with me. I forget his name, and he was really cool, good guy. Helped me out. And it was like we're in this little box. I was like, okay, but it was still great. It was a great experience, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do that.
Not a problem. I appreciate you. You've been going on for years now. That was back in what, 2009 or 2000?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 2009.
A long time ago.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a great time. And ever since then, we've been rolling, doing our stuffs here. And we'll get there one day. But we're like you. We start working and get better each week.
There you go. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, Coach Wilson, I'll let you go. I know you want to spend time with your dad, but thank you so much for taking some time tonight. And we'll wish him well and keep us informed how he's doing. And we'll talk to you before the first game of the year. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
All right. That's our good friend, Coach Wilson from Morgan State University, former of Bowie State University. Yeah, I give him a lot of credit for him. And, they took a gamble on a whatever radio station you want to call it, to do things. And
look where you are now, Chris.
I guess I was a good salesman. I don't know. Maybe I sold
You're
it.
a good salesman. I mean, it's pretty cool that we've had all these different people from the world of different sports on here. I mean, I never thought I was a kid, I'd get a chance to talk to, a commissioner of a college of a college conference, commissioner of the PBA tour, all the bowlers and football players, writers that we've had here. I mean, it's been an incredible journey, and we ain't stopping now.
Nope, and I'm glad you've been part of it. Because I know.
Thank you.
I think it's pretty funny. I think it was 2 years. It's been a year and a half, 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the first time I talked to you, because I remember there was some special super fan, and I'm like, you're on YouTube, and you're you're like, I got to get this guy on, this is guy.
And now, and the rest is
you grew up since then. It's funny, and you do a great job, and we got to bring it. It is Artistic Awareness Month, the last show of the month for us here.
Yep. That's why I've got my blue on.
Yes, I have dark blue on. I guess
that works.
Whatever this color is, that's the old New York Titans jersey.
Oh, there you go, Chris. Yeah.
So Autistic Awareness runs through next Sunday, the 30th. And then you'll start May 1st. We'll be here Monday, May 1st, getting ready for baseball. We got more baseball we got to cover. Minor league baseball.
When it comes May, we've got college lacrosse. Conference tournaments. We've got, at the end of May, we have women's softball, toward the middle of May. We've got, it's called, college baseball, at the end of May has their conference tournaments. And plus Major League Baseball, minor league baseball. And then
we go all the way up to Memorial Day weekend or the day after that following Monday. And then we'll get ready take a little break, and then we'll get ready for the ACC kickoff. And I'm going to bring you down there. Hopefully,
I will be there. I will get on there. I will be there.
All 3 of us will be there, Matt and I and you. But it's funny.
Yeah, we will all be there, and we actually can meet in person.
Yes, instead of being on video.
And it's like,
don't be strange. I do have a beard. I just want to let you know.
No, you're all good, Chris. It's like, August will be here, and then it'll be time for
college football. And I was looking at college football schedules. Next week we got this coming Saturday is the Maryland spring game. I'm hoping to go down Saturday if I'm under the ready to go, but getting this poison ivy away from me. I missed a couple of spring games because of that. But Maryland, they have an upcoming team, and I got to give Maryland credit. They brought back the old uniforms.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right.
I like it. I like
it too. I think it's great to bring back, the things that people see in the, you think Maryland. To me, I think Maryland. This. Let me play this real quick. I have a short video here. Hold on here. I had it here last week. Anyway, but a short video, of Maryland wearing the old red uniforms, and I'm thinking red uniforms. You think Boomer Esiason, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
true. That's true, Chris. Yeah.
You know, and that's their heyday because Maryland had a heyday back in the early '80s that they.
Yeah,
You know,
and
they were,
we can't forget the historic Miami Maryland game in '84.
yeah, we don't bring it up here in my household. So, yeah.
I know why.
My brother Will is a Miami fan, and we don't talk about that. You know, it's, that's kind of a new. You know,
understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah, understandable, but but you got him just really just Miami, but Maryland, you remember Maryland with the red helmets,
Yes,
yeah, with the white strip here says Terps,
Yep.
on it.
Yep.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they started doing this like we got to be like Oregon, really, yeah.
It's called let Oregon be Oregon.
It was so bad. I was like, what the heck are you doing?
Yeah, let Oregon. It's called let Oregon, be Oregon.
Right, exactly. So, folks, it is Artistic Awareness Month. If you want to go online to donate or find out where you can do a special walk, there is some walks here in this area coming up on in Towson on October 8th, and there's one in DC on October 21st. So, if you want to sign up, autism is a brain disorder that basically inherits the person that can communicate and surroundings and forms relationship with others. And Adam, you probably have, you have it, and you have like a set schedule in the morning.
Yes, I do.
So if something doesn't go right, your day is done, right?
Yeah.
What do you do with that? Explain to folks when you have a bad
when
day.
I'm at work, it's like when I'm at work, so I have a set schedule, stuff I like to get done, my, it's easy for me, so I don't have to go back and, make sure I didn't miss anything or anything like that, so.
Right.
I like to get everything done, to my schedule, easy for me, and, it works out.
Okay. But like I was saying is let's say you have somebody throws you a curveball.
It's called I can respond. I can respond.
To that? Okay.
Yeah, it's called I've had that happen many, many times, and it's like I just gotta deal with it, whether I like it or not.
Yeah. It takes a while because you get
it does. It does take a while. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah, because after a while you're like, you're like with me, I don't have what you have, but I'd like to have a set schedule sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody throws off something on my set schedule, I'm like, well, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah.
But I applaud you, dude. I really do. Working in this field, being at retail, and retail is really hard. I know that's really bad. But so basically, we had your friend on a couple of weeks ago,
Kristen. Yes,
Kristen, and she. Have you talked to her since then? And
I have, and actually, to let you guys know, Kristen, she competed in a tournament. It was supposed to be a 9-pin no tap tournament, but it was a regular tournament. She didn't do really good in that, but she bowled last night in her league, and Kristen's gonna be at the Roth Open PBA Doubles Championship in a couple weeks. So she's looking forward, to seeing everyone.
Yeah, I'll do that.
I see her up in Portland in September.
Yeah, I got May 8th off from work, so I'm thinking maybe I could go over there and see if I could do a show from there.
That Monday night, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can log in because I think they have practice and they have pro-am or something.
Yeah.
Maybe
May 8th is the pro-am.
Yeah, maybe I could get whoever's over there. Maybe I could get Jason to stop by and we could talk a little bit. If Jason Belmonte's out there, hello.
I'll see him in Florida.
Yeah, get him to call us.
I'll get him on. It's called.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I do an interview with him when I go down to Florida.
Yeah. We're waiting for the Boston College head women's lacrosse coach. They're traveling down to Charlotte right now because they play Wednesday against Duke in the ACACIA Women's Lacrosse Championship that's sponsored by the folks we had on a couple weeks ago. on
Corrigan Sports, our good friend Lee Corrigan. Yeah.
So hopefully she can find a place to get ready to join us, and then we'll finish the show at 9:15 with the voice of Syracuse Mets, Michael Chiriaco.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we started with the New York State of Mind with Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. If he just logged in or he just woke up from a nap, Aaron Rodgers is a New York Jet for this year. So the Jets sold the house, and we want to say thank you, Anthony Vasquez from the New Jersey Advanced Media, for joining us tonight real quick over the phone, trying to give you some breaking news. You like the breaking news music?
I do. It kind of reminded me of World News, ABC World News Tonight with Peter again. Yes, loved it.
I had to find something here make it sound like breaking news.
Worked for me.
Yeah, our pal Matt Cecchinelli, who was normally joining us, he had technical difficulties tonight with his phone or his laptop, or something's going on up there in his neck of the woods. So we'll resolve that, and we'll have him on next Monday night. And he missed a great show tonight.
He did. Yes. Yeah. Yes, we had a good show tonight. So
having a good old.
We're gonna have a good show next Monday too, Chris.
Yes, we do. We will have it next Monday. So
next Monday, to let all you viewers know that may not know next week is Kentucky Derby week. So we're gonna have one of my friends on, who is a horse racing track announcer, and she ran in the Boston Marathon, to give us some insights on the Kentucky Derby. So her name is Jessica Paquette, and she's a really good friend of mine. So you'll know what it's like to call. You'll get the idea of what it's like to call a horse race.
Right. So she does a lot of that, and down the stretch she's trying to log in.
She does. Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, so coaches from Boston College is trying to log in. I guess they're having issues down there in Charlotte with the internet, probably. So he's going to let us know here. He should be joining us. I don't see. Sometimes we do have an issue with the StreamYard. It's not us, folks. It's something with StreamYard. I guess there's a lot of issues with the weather.
True.
I don't know why. I check everything else, and there's no issues. Maybe there's a problem with the internet at the hotel they stay at. Sometimes a lot of hotels have firewalls that block things, that let people go on things. Because they don't want to because a lot of people steal information.
True.
But back to having Wally Backman on. It's just great to have him on the program. And it's great that he knew my name. It's like I'm sitting there, like when he called me, he goes, "Hey, Chris, what's going on?" I'm thinking to myself, little Chris is like,
It's like,
it's like
I have a cousin who knew, the late great Tom Seaver, and it's like, he's told me so many stories about him and Tom, and it's like, it brings back memories. I remember Tom Seaver pitched with the Mets, and he was incredible.
Tom Seaver, I put a stat on Facebook. Did you see that a couple weeks ago?
I did.
Here's a studio. Okay, let me get it. Let me have her call us. I don't know what's going on with it. I'll just tell them to call us. I have no idea. So we'll try to get her on the phone, and Adam, you'll welcome her in, right? So
sure will.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on down there. It's technology, folks. You gotta love it.
Sure.
Yeah. So we're waiting for the coach to log in. She said, "Oh, hold on. We might see something. We might see her. Hold on. Hold on. We see something. Hold on. Yeah, I see. Yeah. That'll probably be better. Have her call us. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't even see it. It's like a white box. It's like I'm sitting here on the dashboard going, What is that? Yeah. Yeah. So we'll get her on here, on the phone. Yeah. Hello, this is Chris Heidel from Herb FM Radio.
Hi, how are you? This is ACACIA. I'm just getting. I don't know what the problem is.
It could be the hotel. It could be the hotel. Sometimes hotels, they do like their firewall thing and they block things for some apparent reason. I don't know why. Yeah.
I mean, it says I see Chris Heidel and Adam Lemery.
Yeah, I see a white box. That's all I see on my
I just have a black box, but I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway.
What do you want me to do?
Anyway, let's do it over the phone. You want to do it over the phone? We can do both ways. Let's do it over the phone because you're on the phone right now. So, well, Coach, you're down there in Charlotte. So, how was the trip from New England down to the beautiful North Carolina?
It was easy, very easy. This trip can be, is very convenient. We're down here a lot. We've actually traveled through the Charlotte airport 4 times this year, so we're good, feeling comfortable, settled in. Just had a big dinner. Girls are going to bed, and we're getting settled in here.
Yeah, talk about that airport in Charlotte. Have they done construction yet? Because I was there during the summer of last year, and it was crazy trying to get around that area with all the construction. Did they get it done yet?
Yeah, we hit all the construction. But again, we've been here like 4 times this year, so the girls, no one was surprised. It wasn't inconvenient. We were kind of shuffling through the airport. We kind of knew our way around.
Yeah. Well, you're down there for the ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship down there in beautiful Charlotte, North Carolina. You played Duke on Wednesday coming up. Yeah, and you played Duke earlier this year at home in front of nobody. It was like a quiet, there was nobody. It wasn't open to the public. Why wasn't it open to the public for fans to watch? Was it because of COVID or what's the deal?
No, our indoor facility is not code for fans. It was really just a practice facility, but a couple of years ago during COVID, I just asked if we could start having some of our winter games in there instead of playing in 10-degree weather.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
And it's a beautiful facility, and so the compromise is that we can only have about 500 fans there.
Oh, okay. That's understandable. Yeah, you don't want to have a fire code violation. That's not the thing you need to do. Yeah.
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 And just so many of our games are played in the freezing cold now because our season starts so early. So we just decided it was a small, a small concession for a really great game environment.
Yeah. Well, talk about last year. You guys won the championship, and I remember talking to you over the video, and on Zoom from down here in Towson. So, how was the experience like winning a championship and having that? I won't say bullseye on the back of you because everybody, when you win a title, 1 year before that, everybody wants you the next year and say we're going to take them out. And like how's the response this year? With your schedule.
Well, so we won 2 years ago, and last year we got to the championship and lost by a goal.
Okay, I can't remember. These years have been like different.
Yeah, I mean, we still just have that target on our back because we've been to 5 consecutive national championships, and I think it just plays right into what these girls are seeking. They want to be the best, and so it's good. We get everybody's best game, and I think that just makes the experience for these girls harder, more challenging, and at the same time more rewarding. So it makes everything harder. I mean, ever since we won, everything has been significantly harder, but we also knew that was going to be a part of it. And it's been an incredible experience. Very difficult, very rewarding, but very difficult.
I know Adam has a question because he's from that neck of the woods. So go ahead, Adam.
Yeah. Now, Coach, what's it like for you as a coach to be the #1 seed in the ACC Women's Lacrosse Tournament? And it's not North Carolina because everyone knows how good of a program North Carolina is, but they went up to New England this year. So what's it like for you as the #1 seed in the ACC Women's Lacrosse Tournament?
It's very exciting. It's, I probably don't have the greatest answer for you, but the truth is that, you're the 1 seed. I mean, look at who I'm playing. I'm playing Duke. So in this conference, being the 1 seed doesn't do much for you other than give you confidence and maybe some home seating later on, because, you know, the one seed buys you a one-way ticket to Duke. I mean, that's, you know, not so much of an advantage, but, you know, it's an incredible accomplishment for my girls, because I think we were very, very counted out by everyone this year. And so I am just feeling the fuel and feeling, you know, the passion and excitement for the girls, because I do think everyone had us counted out.
Yeah. I didn't realize Clemson just had their first year of the women's lacrosse program. I thought they'd been playing for 20 years. I guess I'm losing my years or something, because I didn't realize this is their inaugural year. What is it like having a brand new team like Clemson in, and you got players that you don't even – how do they get players to come down to, you know, to Happy Valley, you know, to Death Valley? Because it's like, to me, I think football is Clemson, and to me, up in Boston College is more lacrosse and more, you know, say football, because of Doug Flutie when I was a kid. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think the facilities are incredible. I think the coach there is incredible. And I think, you know, the experience is going to be really well done down there. I mean, they're going to be very well funded. The weather is insane. And I think that the coach is a winner. I know her. And I think players want to play for her, because I think they're going to do really well, really quickly, as you can already see. So I think it's not as tough as a sell as you would think. I think it's awesome. I think it's exciting. The more strength in our conference, the better for recruiting, the better for the experience, and the better we get throughout the year.
Exactly. And you had a question for Coach?
Now, what's it like to, you know, because I'm familiar with, you know, Massachusetts, because I'm from there, and you know, what's it like for you as a coach? You know, do you wish the women's lacrosse season started later on because of what you guys deal with in Boston every year with the snow and cold weather?
Yeah, I do. I think for everyone, I think for every school, I think we should be starting later and going further into the summer.
Thank you.
Enjoy this beautiful game that we play, and not have to brave the weather. Our kids are fine. They're tough as nails. They'll do whatever we say. If we got to play in the snow, they'll do it. I mean, we've played in sub-0 degree weather and won.
Wow.
You know, it's what kids will do. But just in order, you know, just to have a little bit more enjoyment, because these girls work so hard, I just think we should be starting later and going further into the summer.
Yeah, I agree. I think they need to. I think for you guys, because it's cold, and this year we didn't really have winter down here in Maryland. It was like I'm dealing with poison ivy, because I'm pretty realized that we didn't have a winter, and the vine decided to keep growing.
I get it.
Yeah,
I totally get it.
And to me, I'm like, this time of year, we've been waiting for things to grow. Now we have the stuff that's growing, you know, all year round almost, and it's like,
yeah, I'm from Maryland. I totally know what you mean.
Yeah, so I'm dealing with the miserable of, like, I look like I got beat up by the bush. Yeah,
but I get it.
Yeah, you know, and the bush won. But anyway, but talk about the weather. Some years we have winters that, like, it's 32 degrees for now until May. Or, you know, we have winters that basically the spring comes in April 1st.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think we're all excited to be down here. Hopefully, you know, we can keep the rain away and have some warm temperatures. But again, you know, it's a perk. When it's nice weather, it's a perk. These kids, my girls, I can only speak for my team. They're willing to do whatever. They'll play in, you know, we've trained in sideways, basically sleet the last couple of days in Boston, and that toughens you up and hardens you a little bit. So I do think it's a big part of our edge. But we are really excited to be down here in Charlotte.
That's cool. And it's warm weather down there as well. That's a good stuff. So, Coach, thanks so much for coming on tonight. I know you just got there. Relax, enjoy the next couple of days, and keep on winning. And we'll hope to see you in the women's tournament.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Talk to you soon. All right. Bye. That's Coach WALKER-WEINSTEIN. Yeah, Coach of the Boston College Women's Lacrosse. Adam, before we bring in our next guest, there is a no-hitter going on.
Oh, really? They're in Major League Baseball, right?
Yeah, there's a no-hitter going. It's because of your Braves.
Oh, really?
Right now, Spencer Strider is trying to pitch the first no hitter of the season. He is up 8-0 on the Marlins.
Scratch that, Chris. Scratch that. He's given up one hit.
Oh,
to
he
the
just gave
Miami
him a hit?
Marlins. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. I got the box score as I speak. And
yeah, I was bringing it up, and that's terrible. I'm sorry.
Hey, on its way.
Yeah,
make that now. He's given up 2 hits to the Marlins, as it's called live in game box score.
Yes. So let's bring in this gentleman. He is the voice of the Syracuse Mets, and the Mets are the farm team is the AAA affiliate of the New York Mets, who are the good team, who was my team since I was a kid growing up. Let's bring in Michael Carrasco, who is the voice of the Mets. Hey, Michael, can you hear us?
Hey, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It sounds like, are you in the airport in Toledo?
No, I'm actually on the team bus. We're taking the bus to Toledo here, so hopefully the Wi-Fi is strong. I know the video might not be great because it's currently night, and that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. That's okay. We'll just imagine you're there talking to us, so it's all right. With the dark. So, talk about this road trip. You went to Durham for 6 games. Now you got to do 6 games in Toledo. So that must be really hard for you. But it's good for being in place for six games starting tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, it's nice with the 6 games in one spot, meaning less travel for sure. On the other hand, if you're struggling against the team, you want to get out of there as quick as possible. You want to see a fresh opponent. Sometimes you need a new reset, and that's what we're getting here against Toledo. Should be fun to start a series against what has been a fun season so far with this group.
Yeah, you have you got a power hitter that is knocking at the door. Who just went to second base yesterday, Marcirio. Yeah, what is it like having him on the team? Because him and he's hitting these long home runs I see on Sports Center.
Yeah, no, it's we got a lot of the talent on this group, and Ronnie for sure is someone who he's a switch hitter. He's got a lot of power from the left side of the plate. Now they're starting to move him around. He's a really versatile guy. He's a really good shortstop, but the Mets have Francisco Lindor at short, so now he's getting an opportunity to play some second base, and I think the plan is to move him around. Buck Showalter, the New York Mets manager, said he might play some first, he might play some left field, right field. They're going to move him around and just add to his value for the team.
Yeah, it's always good now with the DHs in the American League and National League. You can do all that stuff. Before that, he's in the National League team. He doesn't have a chance to move around a lot because you got pitchers to hit. Now with the DH, it's like he gives you more stuff to do with them.
I think you make a really good point. You guys got me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just okay. Yeah. I think the DH definitely is a game changer in the National League. It allows you to add another bat, and we've got so many guys here in Syracuse who are doing so well at the plate, and maybe they don't have a natural position when they go up to New York, but now with the designated hitter opportunity, it opens up a position for them. So I think all these guys, the way that they're hitting, they're just going to eventually force New York's hand, and it's a really good problem to have.
Yeah. And you got a question?
Yeah, I was looking at the managerial roster, and the bench coach stood out to me. He's a former major leaguer. So what's it like to have JP Arcibia as the bench coach of the Mets?
Yeah, he really keeps things light. He really knows his stuff. To have someone that has that type of pedigree on the staff, a really good catcher who's working with, at first he was working with Francisco Alvarez, who was the top prospect in the Mets organization. Francisco's now up in the majors, but, to have a guy who's just, he brings a really fun personality to things. He brings so much knowledge to the game, and, I continue to learn from him every day. So if I'm learning from him every day, I can only imagine what the players are learning from him.
Yeah. So, Michael, who's starting tomorrow night for the Mets against the Mud Hens?
Yeah, right now Jose Butto is scheduled to start. He's another young arm in this New York Mets system, and this is a Syracuse Mets team that has seen so many guys already go up to the major leagues, with New York having currently 4 of New York's 5 starting pitchers are out, whether it's from injuries or Max Scherzer being suspended for a couple of starts there with the whole sticky substance, rosin, alcohol thing, but. That just means some of our pitchers are going up, and while it's a loss for us here in Syracuse, it is rewarding to see guys that you're riding the bus with one day, and then the next night you're watching them on SNY playing for New York at Citi Field. So it makes it a lot of fun.
Exactly. Well, Michael, let me let you go. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. We'll get you on throughout the season. We're going to be on Mondays, so we'll get you on. That's an off day for everybody, so we'll get you back on, and we'll see how you're doing up there in Syracuse.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
All right. Talk to you soon. Safe trip. All right. As Michael go on the bus to Toledo, Ohio, where we know where Toledo, Ohio used to be a spot for the Professional Bowler Store.
It was home to the PBA National Championship at historic Ducats, Imperial Lane.
I went out there a couple of years ago to pick up a car.
Really?
And I was working for a car dealership, and they wanted me to go out to Dayton, Ohio. I'm like, okay, let me drive back through, and I'm like, ooh, I go through Toledo, Ohio, and I remember Chris Schenkel saying Maumee River.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, this is the Maumee River. I'm like, okay, so I pulled over, I got on my phone, I'm like, typed in Imperial Lanes. It closed.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I was gonna make a U-turn with the car and drive down the street and bowl a couple frames and roll out.
I'll relive the memories of the 80s and 90s. Yeah,
and like where my good friend Tim Chris won his national title.
Yes.
Here in Maryland. So our good friend Tim Chris, his daughter is doing really well playing college softball up in York College in Pennsylvania.
Yes, yes.
So
yes.
Maybe I get him. Maybe I can get her on later, and she's getting married this year or next year or whatever. But I grew up with Amanda. She was a little girl years ago, and when I was house sitting for his dog, so I got to know her.
Wow.
So it's pretty funny. She's all grown up now. I'm like, man, I'm so old. That's old. But well, folks, thanks for joining us tonight here on the program. And we're going to wrap it up with a couple more stuff I have to tell you. I found out something here. On this date in 1996, the highest scoring baseball game in 17 years. Look at the score, 24-11.
My month and the day I was born, 11/24.
Oh, wow. Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then on this date in 2016, Philadelphia Soul legend Billy Paul, who died at age 81, he was best known for his Mr. Jones, back in 1972. So I guess he wrote that until he passed away. So next week, let's give you a what's coming up on the next week's show. We'll start off with next week. We'll have Adam's friend, Jessica
Paquette, going to come on to talk horse racing and what it was like to run in the Boston Marathon. So it's called so it's kind of whoever want to learn what it's like to call a horse race, Jessica, they'll tell you.
Yes, and then also next Monday at 8:40, Coach Pete Shimmick, the head coach of Towson football, will be joining us next Monday night at 8:40. We'll recap their spring game they had this past Saturday. Got canceled and throughout it was canceled because of they played a couple series before a big thunderstorm rolled in.
Yeah,
but he had practice with them and it looked like he had a great time with these guys. And hopefully he brings a new message to Towson University and get everybody back to being square one. And make Towson a great program. It is a great program.
Yes, it is.
Great school, here in Maryland, it's local, 20 minutes down the road. We had met Tyler on last week, a good friend from baseball, and we'll have Pat Scarry on next year during basketball. And, we're going to try to get some other coaches as well, because, Towson's
We had the women's gymnastics coach on from Towson.
Towson, yep. Yeah, Coach Ramirez. So it's good to show people that we have great things here. Here in this. So join us next Monday night here at starting at 7:30. So we'll leave you tonight with. I was going to play this earlier, but we got a little.
Oh yeah, Chris. I'd let our viewers know. Last Monday we had the CEO of Mayweather Productions on. To talk about the fight in Vegas, and Tank Davis of Baltimore won.
Oh wow! I was looking. Something they didn't advertise it on nothing online for it. And I'm trying to figure out who won, and I see people on Facebook.
Yeah, Tank Davis won.
Maybe I can get him on. Maybe I can email the guy and see if we can get him on. Maybe.
Why not?
Hey, like our buddy Matt said, we don't know about basketball, boxing. We try to do everything here on this program. Yep. Gymnastics, basketball, bowling, you name it. We got other stuff going on, and we might get. I'm going to work on getting the PBR on. The rodeo.
I know about rodeo, of course.
Yeah, they have one of these rodeo meets in Ocean City in June. So I have the contact name. So maybe I'll tomorrow in my travels, send an email to the lady, see maybe we get somebody who's locally here or your neck of the woods and see if they can come on and we could do we'll talk about that thing. It's June 3rd and June 6th down at Ocean City, Maryland.
And we've had
on the beach.
And also we've had Mike Iaconelli from
Fishing.
Bassmasters Fishing Tour on here.
We'll try to get Mike back on. I think we'll have him back on because I think he's doing really well right now. So we'll see what his schedule is. We do a lot of things here. We don't strictly stick to football.
No,
bowling, everything you name it. We find it. This guy finds it. We put it on because I think it's great to cover other stuff.
Yes.
But we're gonna roll out here because I'm going to get some dinner because I'm starving. And I got to get some cream for my poison ivy because it's itchy. So we'll leave you tonight with a video I made for Aaron Rodgers. Made this tonight for the show. We're going to use it for the end. So here it is, and we'll see you all next Monday night at 7:30. So here it is.